into positions of hopelessness and helplessness. The government gives them the drugs, builds bigger prisons, passes a 3-strike law, and then wants us to sing God Bless America. No, no, no. Not God Bless America. God damn America. That's in the Bible for killing innocent people. God damn America for treating us citizens as less than human. God damn America as long as she tries to act like she is God and she is supreme.
Hello everyone.
It's at this point that I discharged my
Firearm.
missile.
and the bullet appeared to have penetrated his skull.
We got surviving edged weapons shit against the incoming missile. The X block.
The one where the guy like pulls the cop's knife out, and then turns around and stabs him with his ass.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
that's
best.
so good. What we have here is an MDM.
I gotta go. I gotta watch that whole
mentally
thing again.
disturbed.
They're fucking
Oh
awesome.
yeah.
Or no,
EDM.
Yeah, an EDM, emotionally disturbed.
Electronic
Muslim.
dance music.
Yeah,
electronic dance
an
music.
EDM.
That's what EDM stands for.
We have an MP3.
Put it out there.
Hello everyone. Welcome to a last minute emergency edition of Pod Damn America. I know we're all probably hearing the news right now. I don't want anyone to be alarmed, but I figured we would get together and talk about, obviously the very grave events of the day that will undoubtedly affect the course of history and the rest of our lives. So, let's just get right into it. Blake ruined a movie I was watching.
No. I made that movie better, and you're a bitch.
I'm so mad. I'm as mad as if I couldn't be madder if there was a goddamn drone flying right into my apartment to just destroy my entire.
Be a better plot than that Star Wars movie.
Jake is more upset than if someone killed the leader of the podcast movement.
You don't know. We could be next.
Yeah, that's true.
You saw the movie. Nothing makes sense. People just do things for various reasons, completely unrelated to the events surrounding them. Hey guys, we're probably gonna go to war or some shit. We just found out
Star War.
Yeah. Well, we have a Space Force now, so
Finally,
That's
we are
true.
equipped for the Star Wars.
you know how in like every once in a while there's like a real fucking simple like pothead dude that's like Idiocracy was a documentary, dude.
Uh-huh.
I'm gonna be Star Wars was a documentary when the war starts. I'm just like, dude, they fucking nailed it.
So is this?
You're always just like pointing to like random shit where you're just like, that guy right there, fucking George W. Bush, that's Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, how? And you're like,
I have a
got
very
the same eyes.
I have a very long YouTube video we all need to watch together. It's a loose change endeavor. Okay.
Have you ever seen Dick Cheney? That's Boss Nass. There you go. Same guy.
I should introduce
The
everyone.
only way to get to Iraq is through the planet core.
Planet core.
Or
Gotta
if you
take
were
a
in love,
bongo there.
if you were in love with
You're gonna have to
somebody,
take a bongo.
Everyone shut the fuck up.
You're gonna have to kill an Iranian general with a bongo.
I have to introduce the show and make it. It has to have some direction.
Yes.
Guests: Jeremy Hammond, Ballin' Out Super. Hi.
Hey.
Sorry.
What up?
I can do it
my
like
new
that.
show with Brynn, Generation Loss.
Hi, I'm Brynn Nnieboer from BB Pledis and Generation Loss.
And Blake Midgette, he was gritty on the Christmas episode.
my best work.
And
Yeah.
page 99. What else you got going on these days?
Nothing.
Okay.
Soon
Blake,
to be a victim of war.
the guy who ruined the Star Wars movie I
Didn't
was
ruin
watching.
a Star Wars movie.
I fucking hate you. I will never watch another movie with you.
You've been saying
Until
that
the next
forever.
movie you see together.
Oh, you bought my ticket. You wanted me there.
No, you owe me
you
$15,
asked
bitch.
me to come to this movie with you, and you know who and what I am.
You asked me
You
what
wanted this.
what I was doing today in Williamsburg, and I was like, "Oh shit, I'm going to a movie."
I tweeted at you to be annoying. First off,
Bitch, you wanted to get coffee with me?
yeah, I want to get coffee.
You love,
But I didn't
to
think
drink
you'd actually
coffee with
respond.
Jake.
Also, John Raven's in town. We were supposed to hang out with him.
I know. I told him I might hang out with him after this, but he's at the stand where I am allowed, but it's weird.
They blocked you on Twitter, didn't they?
They unblocked me.
That's so nice.
Why we had a
Happy
whole
ending.
sit
I
down.
love this industry.
Everyone gets
The
along.
forgiveness is really what you miss about the comedy industry. From an outside perspective, you don't think about it, but forgiveness is really a cornerstone of our community.
So important.
It is. It's not,
It's yeah.
I just want to see
Louis
everybody
C.K.
hold
Did you
hands.
see he's performing again?
I
You
forgive
guys like
him.
comedy? I don't care. I don't want
Yeah.
to talk about it. I'm here to
guys see
shit
this-
on Jake for Star Wars.
You guys seen this Louis C. Gomez guy?
Yeah.
I forgive him
Listen,
too.
I'm not trying to fight anybody that runs a podcast.
But you'll fight other people.
Luis Gomez spit in my eye the other day at the stand when he was going all fucking bar fight, chest puffy on me.
Like a snake.
Yeah,
Like a snake?
like a Puerto Rican rattlesnake, and like a snake, like some fucking like weird Dorn assassin shit. It's been itching my left eye for like ever since it happened.
Oh, that'll
It's-
happen.
Chlamydia, baby.
Yeah,
you
they
can catch
gave me
that shit
something.
in any mucous membrane.
There's
And-
acid in there.
In the movie, when I was getting really pissed off and just like, well, there's nothing I could do. I was just sit here and watch this movie and be pissed off. My eye started to like swell up. So now I have this thing where I guess I'm like a guy where like, don't make him mad or his eye swells up. That's how you can tell he's mad.
Oh, you're like the principal in Daria.
Yeah.
Or the bad guy in Casino Royale, where his eye just starts bleeding
Oh,
as
yeah,
a
but
tell.
only when he's sad.
Now, here's my question, everybody: is we're always talking about these fucking Puerto Rican rattlesnakes. How about a white rattlesnake for once?
That's why I'm
Yeah.
here, baby.
Where are white rattlesnake rights? Oh
I
no,
was
White
spitting
Snake.
on
That was a
Jake the
band.
entire time.
We've already had that.
Yeah. Hey, how about a white zombie for once?
Yeah. So we saw a movie.
We went and saw Rise of the Skywalker.
Rise of the
ninth
Skywalker.
Star Wars.
Hey everyone, this is Jake. I'm just going to announce right here, real quick, before you go any further. If you have not seen the new Star Wars movie, The Rise of Skywalker, Rise of the Skywalker, I don't know, and you're worried about spoilers, don't listen to the rest of this podcast because it's an indecipherable conversation. But all of the spoilers are in it. So back off, nerds. Okay, bye.
First movie.
The last movie, I guess, they're going to not do any more movies after this? Is that
No, they're gonna keep doing
Are
it.
you
But
kidding?
this
Is
movie
how
is
much
the
money
end
they're
of,
making?
This
Yeah.
is like end of history.
Also,
shit.
do you feel like I feel like somebody should just tweet at J.J. Abrams, The Mandalorian, be like, you could make this franchise good.
Yeah, look at The Mandalorian. It is lovely. A
Do-
sweet show.
Do you guys like The Mandalorian?
It's
Yeah, it's
very
great.
good.
I like it a lot.
I liked it fine. I watched the first couple episodes. I didn't watch it anymore. And I'm like very annoyed by Baby Yoda now. so
Shut
I'm
up,
like,
Jeremy.
I'm done with it a little bit. But
Baby Yoda is very cute.
he's very cute. I've
extremely
seen him
powerful.
every week for
Very.
the past
He's also
couple
50
months.
years old.
Yeah.
He likes to drink out of his little cup.
And now that they're doing
Has a
like the
little
whole like celebrity guest thing
The
is
Bill
kind of
Burr thing?
annoying. Where
I
it's
felt-
like
I-
every week is a new
That's just
person.
John Favreau. He does that in every fucking thing he does.
The
Does he
more
really?
that
Yeah.
the show is
Like,
like
he
a
had
show
Elon
from
Musk in
the...
Iron Man 2, which was the creme de la creme
he
of the
did?
Iron Man
Oh,
movies.
my
It was.
God.
That fucking sucks.
It was really bad.
Sucks my ass.
And then
Maybe it was
Iron
Iron
Man
Man 3, I
uses
don't
his
remember.
iron heart to uphold apartheid.
That got...
the suit blows up. He's like overpowers. He has to plug it in on the side of the highway and it blows up.
Who was that fat guy in the X-Wing, by the way?
Yeah,
He-
who
was
was that
he-
guy?
he was
Porkins.
That wasn't Porkins, but that was like the original fat guy. But like
Yeah.
the new one who had like 3 lines.
That guy had
was
like
that
Burt
Kevin
Kreischer
Arnold?
energy. He seemed like a big
He
fat
was. I've
comedian.
seen him in shit before.
Yeah.
Yeah, he was-
like the
he's got
guy
good
in the Lord of the
comic.
Rings.
Oh, yeah, it had Domhnall Gleeson or whatever his name
Sure.
is. Pippin.
Pip.
He's in
Pip.
the movie
Yeah,
for
No.
no reason.
Was he Pip or?
Or Mary.
He was Mary.
Oh, shit, sorry.
How fucking dare you? in
I
front of
fucking
me.
hate
This
that
is why
one.
Jake was mad at the movie.
Yeah, I was
He
mad.
Because I
he was
don't know
misguiding it,
Lord of the
like,
Rings.
but it
You
was
were
really
like,
about
"That's
you,
the
not knowing
wrong
between
guy
Pip
from
and Mary.
Lord of the Rings."
Blake was just screaming in my ear, and I was
like,
leaning
"Frodo!"
over and I was leaning over at Brynn and going like, "Brynn, you're ruining the movie."
Yeah, stop not
Control
knowing Lord of the
yourself.
Rings trivia.
I can
Yeah.
sense it.
Yeah.
I can feel your anger.
Be cool like Blake.
Let your hate stop flowing through you.
Yeah,
You're embarrassing me in front of Blake.
I don't know what. So
But
like,
The Mandalorian is a show that is plotted very well, and
Yeah.
the more it is like kung fu, the more I'm okay with it.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's just like a
It's-
Western ripoff. It's Lone Wolf and Cub.
It's so simple, and that's it. It doesn't need to be anything else. It just does what it does. Very no reinventing the wheel.
Well, you don't want to shoehorn a dead woman into it.
Exactly. So this movie is
Here. And also, why are you doing that? Like, the young crowd that's watching this is like, oh, you know what this is moving? A dead person I don't know. Like, why don't we get Carrie Fisher's corpse
Yeah.
in this movie? Like,
Just thinking about what traditionally has been like the profit center for the Star Wars franchise, it's always been toy sales. And
Yeah.
what you're looking at isn't even like Zoomers
Just
at this point. You're looking at
zombie Leia.
even younger than Zoomers. You're looking at my nephew,
Right.
like who's supposed to be who this movie's for. He doesn't give a flying fuck if Carrie Fisher gets her closure in this fucking story.
She died like 3 movies ago.
never underestimate a
She's been dead for
droid.
So long.
It's like unnerving
I feel like
to
she's
see
been
her.
dead when Obama was a president. Is that true?
He killed her with a drone.
Good job. Thanks, Obama.
Yeah.
But
Carrie
yeah,
Fisher
this
was
movie.
an Iranian general.
This
That's why she's the general.
this movie is the opposite of The Mandalorian in that it's just fan service by people who don't know anything about Star Wars.
Yeah, that-
There's just tons of stuff where
Nothing made any sense.
it's like you're supposed to please the nerds with fan service, not make me, as someone who barely knows anything about Star Wars, be like, "That's not what that's from. How could there be
Yeah,
an
I-
X-wing there?"
I was furious
That
at
doesn't make
my-
any sense.
I was like furious at myself. I'm like, wait a minute, TIE fighters don't have hyperspace engines. Like, wait, why am I thinking that?
Yeah, but it's like if they're gonna have the fan service and try and jerk off the nerds like us, then do it right. At
Yeah.
least don't like fucking blow smoke up our ass and then make it poison.
I think they painted themselves into a corner because, like, the thing that happened after the first, like, the original 3 movies is then that George Lucas goes crazy and he makes those, like, shitty prequels.
Yeah.
And so then, like, Disney takes it over and they go, like, we're going to take it away from you. You sundowning, you go to sleep, and then we'll make a fucking movie. And they were like, everyone hated the prequels so much because they had all this new, crazy, wackadoo shit. They went the other direction, and they were like, I think that they fucking went off of the Patton Oswalt bit where he's like, I just want to see the stuff I like, which is like a good point.
Yeah.
But they just were like, okay, we'll make exactly that. And so the first movie was just like literally a carbon copy of like A New Hope.
Yeah.
So it was, like eye candy, but kind of boring. And then that Rian Johnson thing came in and he like killed like what was going to be the main villain, that Snoke character.
Right, yeah.
Like
Wait,
pretty
Snoke
clearly.
died?
Yeah, Rian Johnson. He,
Oh, yeah, you walked out.
I
halfway
walked
through.
out of the second
yeah,
one.
Snoke dies halfway through the movie.
yeah, and he's,
What? Wait, who was he?
Nobody.
There was,
It
like,
doesn't
this-
matter. He just like dies midway through.
Well,
and that's like the lesson they're trying. The thing that fucking sucked about this movie, and like I'm sorry to like derail your point, just
No, go
just
ahead.
momentarily. The thing that fucking sucks about Rise of Skywalker that I can't say sucked about Last Jedi or any other Star Wars movie, and that includes the prequels, is there was no theme to
No.
this movie. There was no perspective of this movie. It wasn't actually saying anything. It was just moving stuff along to get us to the end of the story.
And also, wouldn't it be Rise of Palpatine?
no, because
'cause
at the very
she's the
end, she
Skywalker.
just
It's like,
decides she's a
she
Skywalker.
has a chosen family thing.
Now her name is Skywalker, like she just moved to Brooklyn and reinvented herself.
But
Yeah.
my point is that the point is that the reason
bullshit.
why
All right, the spoilers are starting now.
yeah, the spoilers start now.
Just
Oh,
the whole
don't
thing.
listen to this if you
yeah,
haven't
yeah.
seen the film.
Don't
reason
listen
why-
to it or see the film.
But
Don't
so Snoke
actually
dies
don't
in
watch
the middle
the
of the last
movie.
movie because the
Listen to this
theme
instead.
of the movie is destroy the past, right? That's the idea of the second movie is like
I mean, Jar
there's
Jar
a
already
past,
destroyed
there's
that
a
path for me.
future, You and if you want to go to the future, you have to destroy the past, right?
Okay.
Whether or not that's true or valid, totally different things.
It's
but
fine.
the point is that the reason why it makes sense to kill Snoke in the middle of that movie is because that's the story you're trying to tell.
Right.
There is no story to
No.
tell. There's nothing that they're trying to say by the end of this. Like, what's the message of this movie?
The message of the movie was there was 14 good guys. Like, where did the government that they built after the Empire? Like, where the fuck is that?
Well,
There was literally 14 good guys.
the second movie ends with all of them dead. There is
Who kills them?
like the Empire wins basically in the second movie.
Yeah.
And then you don't get to see them rebuild anything. So it's like, who are all
Yeah,
these people?
But then at
How
the
did
end,
they get here?
there's like a planet full of giant spaceships
Yeah,
that are on the
Yeah.
good side.
it's all just workaround, like weird write around shit.
Like,
Because
did
Ryan
Chewie
Johnson,
and Lando
like,
just text everybody like, "Yo, free keg on Sebulba or whatever fucking planet that was."
the
called?
fucking thing, like at this point, 9 movies in already has such elastic reality to it that like it's like the Harry Potter thing. It doesn't make sense. A wizard did it, sort of shit. Like,
Right.
Yeah.
But at
Harry
least,
Potter made sense to me, though.
right? Because at least in Harry Potter, there's rules of the world.
Sort
It's
of.
like
No
it's
trans people.
It's no trans people. Goblins are Jews. Dumbledore's gay, but you're not allowed to be gay.
yeah.
Those are the rules.
If you want to go
And
to
the only
Hogwarts, we have to see
the
your
only dude he
genitals.
got to bang, he had to kill.
yeah.
We have to confirm what kind of
The
genitals you
sorting,
have.
the sorting head decides if you're male or female.
Yeah.
Just pop it on your head, girl.
You just pop it on your just genital region.
It does that thing where it talks to you and it's like, "Are you sure?" All right.
Feels like a dick to me.
Yeah.
But what I'm trying to say is that the Harry Potter universe, even though it's literal magic, has rules. There are certain things you hide from the Muggles. That never changes.
Yeah.
There are certain things that a Horcrux can do. It's like a super bad MacGuffin, but at least it has rules.
Mm-hmm.
This movie in particular changes everything. It's like
Yeah.
this power
Selective teleportation.
yeah, this electric power that Palpatine has, it can now resurrect life. Everyone can like heal people.
And also, like,
yeah,
if she
dude.
had killed him, then she would have taken over the Sith. But since she killed him, she didn't.
Yeah,
Yeah,
so
wait,
it's just
what?
like you
Stab
can't kill.
him.
You can't kill in anger, but you can kill to save people, and then it doesn't count as killing the same way.
Why
That's
didn't
just
you
some
just kill
fucking
before?
cop bullshit. Like,
would
he
be
had
cool.
a gun. No, he didn't.
It would be cool if in Star Wars, like, Palpatine works for an ambulance, and then if you, like, get alcohol poisoning, they drive him to your house, and he just shocks the shit out of you with his fucking hands and brings you back to life.
Yeah, why wouldn't
He's
you?
like, "This is a thing I can do now." He shouldn't even really have been in the movie, but you can tell, like, they gave the fucking car keys to Ryan Johnson for, like, a movie, and they were like, "Go have a good time," and then they came back like, "What the fuck did you do?" Like,
Yeah,
Oh,
he
shit.
crashed it through a Taco Bell window.
he killed what was supposed to be the main guy, and so just put them into this weird like situation where the only thing they could do is either in the final movie just make up a new villain for the whole situation,
Sure.
or bring back either Vader or fucking Palpatine. Palpatine's the only one that really makes any sense.
I
Right,
mean,
but-
my headcanon for this, my like fan theory is that Ryan Johnson did all of what he did because JJ did what he did first. I think that Ryan Johnson was like doing a spite move to like attack JJ Abrams for leaving him with so many mysteries to solve. I think
Oh.
he was saying like, "Hey, fuck you, dude. You want to fucking do this to me? I'll do it right back to you."
Who is Ryan Johnson?
Ryan Johnson is the director of The Last Jedi, the one you
Yeah,
walked
but
out of. So he's like a fucking. He made. You ever seen Brick?
No.
It's actually good. Like one of his earlier films, he made like a weird high school like film noir kind of thing, starring Joseph Gordon-Levitt when he was like
Yeah.
a kid and shit.
Okay.
and
Mention
then
of Levittowns?
he did the Fly episode of Breaking Bad, the one where they're like
Oh,
it's
that
a
one
bottle
sucks.
episode.
But he also did the best episode of Breaking Bad, Ozymandias, where Hank dies.
There's no good episodes of Breaking Bad.
I mean,
Honestly, not that good of a show.
I agree.
But the Fly one that everybody came in their pants was
That
it's
is the
art.
best
Like
one.
it sucked.
You
It's
like
the best.
a fly?
That's the best one. The rest of the show sucks dick.
We're moving
Even that
on.
episode isn't good, but
I liked it fine, but it was it was a TV trope. It was a bottle episode.
Yeah.
It was like everything
Breaking
takes place
Bad-
in one room.
Has a lot of good parts, I think. But
I want to
anyway,
eat at that chicken restaurant.
He also-
Everybody
that's true.
seemed
Yeah,
to like
the
it.
chicken looked good.
chicken does look great.
That's the best part of the show for me.
But he also directed The Brothers Bloom and Looper, two other movies.
Yeah,
That's right.
Yeah.
So he was on a hot streak for a while.
Looper, like that guy really does like Joseph Gordon-Levitt. Then.
Oh, he loves
Yeah,
him.
huh.
So do I. But this movie,
You know, he's an adult that looks like a child. What's not to love? Fucking
Blake,
creep. No, I'm just saying, like, dude's creepy looking. He's like a perma baby.
I don't know. I don't agree.
Oh, really? You're the one with a crush on him.
He does kind of have a baby face.
Yeah, he
does,
looks
yeah.
like a really big 14-year-old.
I'm looking this up.
Yeah, look it up.
Look it up. He looks like a big 14-year-old.
Never thought about
They're
that.
Right.
All right. I'll stand by that for this episode's hot take.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt looks like a baby.
No, Ryan Johnson's a pedophile or an
Okay.
aphebophile or whatever he wants to.
Excuse me. I think you mean a phebophile.
He just got canceled.
I mean, what he fucking ruined that last movie, so I'm for it. Let's.
Oh no.
Okay, so do you think that this one was better or worse than the last one?
Ryan Johnson was on Jeffrey Epstein's spaceship.
Is that true?
Jeffrey Epstein has a spaceship. Yeah, it's a Star Destroyer.
I knew
Yeah, he had
it.
a Super Star Destroyer.
Jeffrey
the big
Epstein's-
one from the last one.
I think. I mean,
Jefferson Starship. Jefferson Epstein
What
Starship.
is-
Jefferson Epstein Starship. There we go. Yeah.
all right, we figured it out. I hated The Last Jedi a lot, and this one was hard to tell because I was so pissed off during the movie.
Mm-hmm.
But I think as a movie, it was like eye candy and fun to watch, and it was stupid, but in the way that a movie tends to be stupid. Whereas like The Last Jedi, I was like mad at them. I was like, "Fuck you!" Like I know what you're trying to do with this weird, like vague reference to electoral politics and shit that are happening right now. Like there's a Hillary Clinton in Star Wars now, and like, and they're just bending the reality of it, but not in a good way.
You mean Holdo?
Holdo? Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, she had purple hair.
There was like
Everyone
that.
was mad.
Laura Dern.
Yeah.
It was there was that whole arc in The Last Jedi where she was like, you know, it's boys' time for being, you know, impulsive and rowdy is over. I'm going to make a smart move.
Yeah, put yourself directly in the trash, Poe.
And then crash and then it didn't work. And it was like, what the fuck statement is this?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I guess it was after 2016, but still, it was just fucking weird.
But again, it's like at least it's a statement. At least it's a movie that's trying to say something.
Sorry, what were we talking about?
But I don't think
Were we talking about the same movie?
No, we're
No,
talking about the second
no.
movie.
So the last one.
don't
What I'm
think-
saying is, it's the same thing I was saying before. Is like at least The Last Jedi was trying to say something.
But I don't
Failing.
think the main saga of
Like
Star
when-
Wars is supposed to make statements. It's not supposed to be meta. It's just supposed to be like the main story, the main
Sure,
story of life.
but
Yeah,
the
but
hero's
it's
journey.
just so
even still,
fucking
you have-
ham-handed.
you have messages of like the redemptive power of light. You know, you have like you've like things to say about like teaching and wisdom and there's
Yeah, it's all Carl Jung, you know.
sure, but
fucking,
there's lessons to learn. What I'm saying is that throughout this entire movie, there was no point where there was anything for you to be like, "Huh, I guess I learned something about."
Yeah,
something.
it's like everything
There
was
was
just
no
out of
message
left
in
field
this.
on purpose.
Yeah, actually, felt
everything that happened in this movie was just to make the next thing happen.
It
Like
kinda-
when they
it.
when they made Lando, who was like a business executive that ran a mining colony, and now he is a guy that has a crossbow and sells trinkets out of a gypsy caravan at festivals with
Yeah.
a bunch of weird people that put necklaces on
Which
you.
is dumb as shit, but Brynn
Yeah.
and I both were talking about this during the movie.
Also,
that-
how much plastic surgery has he fucking had?
Oh, but dude,
he
Billy
looked like
D.
Mickey
Williams,
Rourke. It was
God
awful.
bless
He looked
his
like,
fucking
Papa
heart. He had
John.
so much fun in this
I
movie.
know.
Yeah,
He
and
was
like-
having a blast.
And
it
what
was
about
great
that
to see.
child he was
You're
trying
not
to
as
bang at the end of the
fast
movie?
as me. I'm the fastest. I have the best ship.
He was having so
I'm
much fun.
so excited.
And at the end, when he was like, "Where are you from?" She's like, "I don't know." He's like, "You trying to find out?" Like, what was that?
What happened?
yeah, wait, was he gonna fuck?
Yeah, he was gonna fuck that child.
I heard that was supposed to be like his like granddaughter.
Yeah, his
or some
illegitimate
shit.
daughter. Or
Oh,
whatever.
is that what
Yeah.
was implied?
But what did he mean when he was like, "You want
Let's
to find
find
out"?
out.
I thought he
She's
was
his
trying to fuck.
granddaughter just because she's black.
I just saw it on the internet.
No,
Well,
there's, like
that-
there's
okay.
earlier on in the movie. There's a thing where they're like, yeah, they took us away from our parents. Really?
Yeah, I
early.
remember that. But also, like Lando, he ran a mining colony. Like he's not not like a deadbeat dad.
Oh, he was like a
No.
fucking young bachelor, though.
No,
Yeah.
but the
He was
Empire made
uber
him.
fucking rich though.
Yeah, he was rich enough to get rid of his kids.
The act-
I refuse to support that just because you're
All right,
black.
here's what happens. Here's what happens next. Like, because I think
the
like
actress said he's a very charming man and could have kids all over the galaxy.
Did she really?
Yeah.
No,
I didn't catch it.
Like, what are you saying?
the
You can't say that.
the main saga of like whether it was good or not of Star Wars is over, and now all these genre films and things are popping off, which are actually kind of good. Just like take the concept of Star Wars and make a Western, cool
Right.
TV show, right?
Sure.
And make like my idea was I think it'd be cool to do a kung fu movie in Cloud City, that's like also a dance movie or like a horror movie, like a found footage horror movie. And
What
it's
if
just from R2-D2's head. But check this out.
Okay.
What about Juno? But it's with Lando Calrissian. That's how he had to give up that baby. But he learned a lot about himself along the
Well,
way.
Jeremy was saying that the best thing about Star Wars is that it's a ripping off everything. That it's Flash Gordon and it's a Western
And Jesus.
and it's a
Yeah, and
samurai
that's,
movie.
That's why The Mandalorian is good, is because The Mandalorian is doing what original Star
It's
Wars
ripping
did,
off
which is
Wolf
using
and
the
Cub.
Star Wars
Well-
paint to paint
Yeah.
a picture of something
Well,
else.
it's also doing what Westerns did, which is like rip off samurai shit, which then went
Yeah.
back and forth, and they ripped off the Westerns.
So
It's
it's
like,
part of an oral tradition
What-
rather
you know
than
what we
this
should do?
bullshit now.
We should make a Star Wars sci-fi movie.
oh, I see. Go
Yeah.
all the way back around.
Go all the way back around
We'll
and
just make an
a
actual
movie
sci-fi.
that's good, but we'll use the Star Wars universe.
We'll make like a real ass
You're a
sci-fi
fucking
movie
maniac.
that like,
I-
actually
you
gets
know?
into the science.
Take it all
Yeah.
back.
What if
We'll
it's
have
just
like a
sci-
guy that doesn't know he's special find out that he's special. You know?
I'm with you.
Okay, and at first he doesn't want to believe it, but he's convinced because he doesn't have a choice, and then he has to go.
Yeah.
I like the idea of
and
Star
then-
Wars as a sci-fi movie that's about, instead of inventing the transistor, everything they make is with tape and analog signals. Because
So,
that's what
like-
Star Wars already is.
Like
but
Star Wars for record nerds.
But that's what Star Wars already is.
Like,
Because they
oh.
all have fucking tapes and like
sorry,
CRT
vinyl.
screens and shit. Yeah.
The technology doesn't make any sense because they have like radio stations, but they don't have Wi-Fi. But there's like cameras inside of the
Yeah,
Death
like,
Star.
shoot the
but there's-
cameras.
everything's
What was the point of
taped.
saying that?
Yeah.
If you really think about the technology of Star Wars, it kind of makes sense in a really cool way, where it's like they
Also-
could like have like phones that are all like VHS tapes inside.
Yeah, like when they didn't, like they needed to use that giant cable
Yeah.
and super big USB thing
To the droid?
get
Yeah.
the plans into R2. It's like they don't have email. I think that was the first time Jake got mad at me because I looked and I was like, "What? They don't have email?" And he was just like,
Shut the
He made like
fuck
a mad,
Blake.
like low frequency whale call.
No, here's what happened. All right, so we got into the movie theater, and then we were like sitting down, and there's this part of going to the movies where you all sit around and you make fun of the fucking previews because the previews are horrible. And then there's like a collective understanding of like when the lights go off and the movie starts, you're like, all right, everyone shut up. And
You
then
have that understanding.
It fucking when the crawl came on, I was like trying to read it, and you were yelling shit, and I had this sinking feeling where
Yelling?
it hit me all at once. I was like, oh my God, I just fucked myself for 2.5 hours because I know you, and
Yeah.
I know you're not going to fucking stop, even if I'm like, shut the fuck up.
Yeah, no, you're right.
I tried to make it into a thing where I was like, maybe it'll make someone else mad. Maybe the theater will kick us out. No, I was
not
mad
getting
at you.
That
kicked
was
out
your
of
plan?
Williamsburg cinemas.
I just wanted you to
Have
fucking
you seen
stop.
the staff?
So then there was like a third thing. There was like a second or third beat where I was like, all right, dude, just shut the fuck. Like, I don't want you to do this.
Yeah.
And then you just started again. And then I finally remember I lost my shit when Ray did a backflip over that TIE fighter.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
It's like, oh, I didn't see that
and
coming.
Blake just
Like, it
yelled,
wasn't
I
even a
did not
good
see that
joke."
coming. Terrible bit.
Terrible bit. You know, we all saw that coming.
I know, but
And
like
that's
we
why I
all
thought
saw
you were
it.
gonna
You
laugh,
don't
'cause-
yell that at the fucking movie when you're watching it. That's not how watching a movie in public
Those
works.
dudes
Yeah.
were mad at you too.
But
when
in
we
my
were leaving.
defense, I don't care
Yeah.
about other people.
You work at a bar, you dumbass.
I know.
You deal with
I
this
don't
shit
care
all
about
day,
those
every
people
day.
either.
But that's you're the other. Switch your person around with the other person. Imagine
You know
you're
what?
the other
I
fucking
have
person.
to deal with drunk people being annoying all the time.
That guy in front of us. He was. I
Yeah,
was
he
kinda-
got up and moved his chair in a huff like a little dick.
I know, but it kind of made me laugh because like I was like, oh, I think this guy's an asshole, and then every once in a while, I'll just hear him like crack a beer open.
Yeah.
I was like, oh, fuck him. He's an
Dude, the
asshole
couple
too.
next to us, I looked
Yep.
over and they were like scrolling Twitter. And I was like, all right, well, they're bored of the movie, so I don't feel so bad to text my wife.
Like,
and
if-
then I looked over again, and they just had left.
I don't. Anybody that goes to see Star Wars expecting it to not.
Anybody
Like,
that goes
what
to
the
see
fuck are
Star
you
Wars
expecting?
to not get yelled at by some
No.
weird Krusty the Clown
This is
fat
the thing,
guy.
is
I didn't
I'm
yell at
with Blake on
anybody,
this.
and
they
You
make
yelled at
I've lost
everybody.
weight,
They
sir.
make these movies for crowd response. There's a reason why the first time
Yeah,
you
it's one
see
of those movies
Lando,
that people
there's a
clap
weird
at.
moment of silence after, which is for us to go up and be like, "Woo!" I know Billy D. Williams.
Yay!
Yeah, actually,
He still has a perm.
I think this is kind of a byproduct of the Disney owning it thing.
Yep.
But it still is. I mean, it's somewhat justifiable because there are some corny lines in the original movies or whatever. But they put the fucking lame one eyebrow raised snarky sense of humor into this shit so bad that it's
It was all forced.
everything was oh, check please, that's gotta hurt,
Well, all of the good bits on Twitter when they released that segment where they're like, they fly now, they fly now, they fly now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the whole movie. Any moment
And also,
of
why
lightheartedness
if they
is
have
that
jetpacks,
bad.
why the fuck are they on belt sander bikes? What? The technology is things fly. Why does anything have wheels on it? I don't understand what they're doing.
That's
you have
exactly-
jetpacks. Why even pretend to be on some
Wheeled,
sort of bike?
wheeled stuff doesn't make sense in this universe, especially when they also have established that you can make at a mass production level giant robots with big legs. If you
Somebody
Yeah.
fucking a car outside?
It's a dragon.
Okay, no.
as if it heard us say.
I don't know what the fuck that was.
Anyway, the point is, you're in a universe where you can build AT-ATs and ATSTs. You can make giant robots with big legs to step over terrain issues. Why would you ever put a wheel on something again?
And now all the Star Destroyers have giant dick lasers that can blow up planets that the Emperor just made with his mind.
Yeah. The Empire has never come up with a better idea than blow up a planet.
They hate
They've
planets.
never thought
who
to
are they
themselves,
gonna rule?
what if we threaten to blow up a planet and
No.
then try to get something out of that?
Yeah, what did they even get out of blowing up Alderaan?
It's like you just destroyed an entire planet's worth of revenue streams.
Yeah, there were natural resources in there that for sure you could go.
The babies that they're planning to steal to conscript to be stormtroopers,
Yeah.
who are the worst soldiers. Why do they even have armor? You shoot them in the dick and they die.
Oh, and when
And
they
they
go
can't
into the
hit
wreckage
anything.
of the Death Star in this, and you see all the stormtrooper armor around, and you're
Yeah,
like,
that
so
chick
what
was-
is that perfectly preserved?
And also, she was literally flying the first scene we see her in, and now she has to climb up stuff. Just fly.
Yeah, she can float like Piccolo.
She can
do Piccolo
levitate like no
meditation
problem at all.
floating.
Oh yeah, she was just surrounded by floating leaves in the first scene.
me. Floating rocks. She was levitating boulders.
Yeah, she was like
Yeah,
a nucleus
way-
of like an atom.
Shit we've never
Fucking
seen Yoda
stupid
do.
fucking movie.
Yeah.
The most powerful Jedis in the whole world has never done anything like this, and she's just easy. And then so why are you having trouble with anything?
Yeah. So
Yeah.
what did
You
we
can't
like
blow your
about the
load.
movie? though?
Here's
Did anybody like
my
anything?
main gripe about the movie.
Okay.
And this was, I looked at Jake to tell him this joke, and he looked at me like he was going to stab me. So I didn't do it. But when all the voices of all the past Jedi were in her head, I got out as far as they should have Samuel L. Jackson. Then Jake looked at me like, I'm going to kill you.
No, dude, I
But
laughed
imagine
at it.
if he was
'Cause
like,
I started to
wake up, bitch, stab that dude. Just Jules
I'm Mace
Winfield.
Windu, not another Samuel L. Jackson character.
That would have been so fucking
No, he
good.
was in there. I heard him.
I didn't hear him.
He was definitely in
Don't
there,
do
but
this to me.
he was very quiet. I mean, it was,
He's never been quiet. He's louder than me.
well, okay.
Is there a sign on my front yard that says "Dead Jedi Storage"? Quentin Tarantino. He wasn't in the.
Yeah, but
all right.
It'd be cool.
Here's the thing. A lot
Okay.
of this
Said, is
sounds
there a
like
sign on my front yard that says "Dead Muggle Storage"?
Dead Muggle story.
a lot of this sounds like
Different movie.
nitpicking.
Is it?
It's just basically the same.
A lot of this sounds like nitpicking. So I just want to be clear here. The first literal hour of the movie is looking for a MacGuffin that leads to looking for yet another MacGuffin. Like there's a little glowy stone that you need to find, a dagger that you need to go to. It's a fetch quest movie
Yeah.
for an hour. That is the whole movie. That's most of the movie.
And then when
And it's
and,
like-
and it keeps building to another to the point where I don't know that by the end of that whole fetch quest I ever had any sense of why did they embark on this to begin
No.
with?
Yeah, exactly.
I definitely for a while was like, what are they doing out here again?
and they try to do that a weird emotional moment with C-3PO,
I'm
Looking at my
the
sacrificing
second
my
most
memory.
annoying character in the Star Wars history.
He's
And
your
he's a
cell
robot.
phone. Take him to the store and get him wiped.
Like, oh
Feels
no, his memory, and he was just annoying immediately again. Like nothing's changed.
Nothing's changed.
Yeah.
But also, can I just point
This
out,
is madness. What's madness? How do you know that?
this is like Brynn was saying before, like stuff that like you've established rules in the Star Wars universe and then you break them and not in ways that are interesting. Like
Yeah, just
this is-
to do it.
Like in A New Hope, one of the first things we learn about robots, one of the first things we see is when C-3PO introduces R2-D2 to Luke, right?
Yeah.
And he's like, and this is my companion, R2-D2. And then Luke just goes, hello. Like as if it's like a joke to him
Yeah,
that
of
like
course.
he'd introduce himself to a robot. And then later on, he's just like, I'm looking at my friends. And we're supposed to be like, damn, homie, that's deep shit that this
Good
robot, this
job.
unfeeling robot is going to lose
But
his
it's like the
memory.
movie is cut like Baz Luhrmann directed it. Like it's like Moulin Rouge. Like literally every 5 seconds you're cutting. It's so fast paced. No one knows what's going on. They have
Yeah.
no time to set anything up. But for no reason, we didn't need all of the plot. You could have taken a whole hour just to like have some quiet scenes
It makes-
with each other and just be like, why are we here? What are we doing? Why do we care about each other? Why are we friends?
Yeah,
like
but that
establish
girl-
that because if you it does, it's not there.
Well, it
that
makes
mysterious girl from Poe Dameron's past.
We
that
don't
he's
need
just
her.
Like,
Oh, that one that-
she like comes across the galaxy to save him. Then he's like, "You trying to fuck?" She's like, "Nope." Like,
Dude.
what is the point of any of that?
Why do we need so much time with her?
That whole arc was like they go back to where he used to be a spice like smuggler,
Yeah,
which
drug
is like,
runner.
Still,
Wait a
still
minute,
in
that's-
the main canon have not told us what spice is.
That's from
drugs.
Dune. It's a thing from
I mean,
Dune.
yeah, sure.
It's
but,
always
like,
been that.
in the
like
books,
the
it's
Spice
drugs.
Mines of Kessel.
Sure.
Where
In the
I
books,
know
it's
way too much
drugs.
about Star Wars lore.
But they've erased the whole
Yeah, and
extended
also-
universe, so that's not drugs anymore.
it
And
sounds
it's
like-
again like
Yes.
every single place they go is crawling with stormtroopers everywhere.
Also, that
There's
weird.
not a city and a planet that doesn't have 45 stormtroopers for every one guy they're pulling out of his front door going, I don't know him.
That weird ninja lady looked like I couldn't place what she looked like for a while, and then when she was flying, she went like "ay ay ay," and I was like, "Oh, she's the robot from Power Rangers."
she's Alpha 5.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she had the same voice.
Poe Dameron's girlfriend?
Yeah, Alpha 5.
Yeah,
So
Spice.
I thought
in
she looked
canon,
like-
he's fucking the only other gay robot in sci-fi.
I thought she looked like a Rocketeer.
she's
from
a
the
proud
movie The
lesbian.
Yeah, yeah, that shitty old movie.
Yeah, that shitty old movie, The Rocketeer.
Yeah, but I was gonna say it makes sense that like this like kind of had this vague feeling of like we've come this far and what does any of this mean? This is just a story for the sake of the story. Because I mean, these things are all written by prestige TV directors and showrunners now, and they
Right.
are famously bad at ending things. And they also truncated whatever the fuck they could have done with this by Ryan Johnson like starting them off with basically a situation where they had to go like into like 20 minutes of expositive dialogue. I don't remember what any of it was, but I do remember going, oh, they're explaining why that didn't happen or doesn't matter anymore. That thing that was the huge plot point of the movie before this. They were kind of just like walking around talking it out in between like snappy Disney fucking sitcom-y dialogue. And then they had like 3 acts to cram in before ostensibly some sort of ending that was supposed to mean anything. And I think like at this point they were just like, it seemed like the movie was fucking exhausted. It seemed like the people that made it were just like, let's just get this fucking over with, which
Yeah.
is what it seems like.
Yeah, but they kept bringing everybody back to life over and over.
Yeah,
I
they
know, but that's
could've
what I'm
just
saying. It
Let
feels-
everything die and then just have an ending and
Dude,
write a fucking ending.
It felt like prestige TV though. It felt like
Yes.
fucking Breaking Bad because they do that shit too, where like they have this big heyday in the middle, and then after a while it becomes self-referential, and like the Breaking Bad shit that is happening now, like Better Call Saul or like that fucking movie they did.
That movie was,
All that is just them bringing back characters. They're like, remember this 5 years ago? You really like this guy, right?
Wait,
And-
like they're just gonna. The next show is the Princess Leia Chronicles, and it's all just it's all just Carrie
CGI
Fisher
Carrie
with
Fisher.
canned dialogue, like.
But it's like from other shit she did too, so they have like her 30 Rock lines.
just
and
like her
stuff.
screaming at John Belushi and the Blues Brothers. She's playing Han's crazy ex-girlfriend.
Just her saying the N-word on 30 Rock.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Just her party years. It's just a bunch of like found footage of her doing blow.
Oh yeah, it's like clearly filmed on just a handheld camcorder.
Yeah, and like the sound is clearly coming from like different recording devices from different eras.
Yeah. I mean, something I was thinking about also in regards to all this is that what I was saying about the prequels earlier is that they like George Lucas, as much as he fucked them up, was like making new shit. It just sucked.
Yeah.
You know?
He had an idea. He had a vision of what that story was.
It
where
would have
was
sucked
going.
if he'd have had enough money to make it, though.
Well, apparently, when he watched the Force Awakens, the J.J. Abrams, I almost call him Jar Jar.
Yeah, Jar Jar Abrams.
He like, it was like a hushed story, but he was like in the theater and he was just like, they didn't do anything new, and they were like, yeah, the people just want, X-Wings and stuff, and he was like, he was like, every time I make a new thing, I try to like introduce a bunch of new stuff.
That's what's bad about it.
But like, I think he's as a constant doesn't work. But the first 3 movies were like that. The first movie was like pretty basic. Like,
Yeah, but he didn't direct the second 2 movies, didn't he? It was somebody else that did them.
he didn't.
No.
Kirshner, yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, they took it right out of his hands.
oh, well then he's
Yeah,
an
the
idiot.
moment it became successful, everybody was like, no, George Lucas can't be in charge of this.
Yeah, and
no,
then
I mean,
like
you're right in the sense that-
everything he's touched were like the remasters where he
Oh yeah,
like re-released the movies with a bunch of really stupid special effects
Yeah, it was
after the
definitely
horrible prequels.
He's not the reason, though, any of the movies are good. But you are right in that, like, you have to introduce something fun. You have to set stakes.
Yeah.
You have to, like,
They
write a movie.
Yeah,
But it's
what
like,
are the
okay.
stakes of this fucking quest
I
they
don't
were
know,
on?
because
what
in
was
the-
going to happen
they-
if
But,
they
like,
didn't
creative
find the
stakes,
Wayfinder?
though.
Yeah, exactly. Like,
like it felt like they were
Oh,
scared.
I forgot what the Wayfinder was. It was like
That was the little
feels like another
crystal
lifetime
triangle
ago.
thing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
they have
The
to get the
things that they would,
Wi-Fi.
Like he destroyed it, but then it was there again.
There
Why
was
was it
2
there
of them
again?
for some
yeah.
reason. But they forgot.
And also,
in the
like, how does that
second movie.
X-wing just work? It's been
And who
underwater
the fuck put
for
the
75
directions on a
years.
dagger.
Yeah.
Why
Yeah,
were the directions
that's
to the
not
thing
Star
on a
Wars.
dagger?
That's Lord of the Rings. That's a different movie.
I
Like,
have
it's
a question.
It's the
Go
first knife I'd seen in it.
What the fuck was up with the little lamp robot? The
Yeah,
robot.
what was
Yeah,
that
what
guy?
was his deal?
He said his name was Dio, and then he never
Ronnie
said anything
James
again.
Dio.
Ronnie James Dio.
He
Here's a
replaced
goddamn
Ozzy
question for you
Osbourne in
guys.
Black Sabbath.
Here's a question: what the fuck did Finn have to say?
Oh yeah.
At the beginning of the movie, they're in the fucking this quicksand, and he's like, "I got something to say to you, Ray." And then later on, he's like, "I still got something to say to you." And then several times they're like, "Hey
What
man,
did
so
you
what
say?
was it that you had to say?"
And then they
he's
don't
like-
pay it
he's like,
off.
I don't have time. I don't have time right now. And
Well,
then they're just like, "Whoops, forgot to close that one."
Literally, they forgot because J.J. Abrams said it in an interview.
Did he really?
Yeah, he was
That
like, he was going to
rules.
tell her that he can do the Force,
This is exactly like the end
Which
of Game of
she
Thrones.
already
then.
knew.
which also sucks because it's like if you just
'Cause that
use
was
your
in the very
mind,
first movie.
use the fucking Force to tell her that.
Wait,
Also,
that's
how could he never find her? Like, Kylo Ren was like, she's close. Like, dude, you found her across a galaxy
Yeah.
10 minutes ago.
Also,
and teleported to her, got in a fight in your bedroom, which somehow you didn't know where you were until your stupid mask falls.
Yeah.
They're motherfucking talking to each other all the time. There's several times where he makes it clear, I can see where you are.
Yeah.
And she can see where he is. They know where each other are. And then he's like, where are you? You're close.
I don't
oh,
know where
shit,
you
my
are.
mask. That's where she is. Oh,
Like,
God.
she was a football field away from him on that planet when they were doing the Force thing, and then she just escapes somehow, just like, oh, no, there's a
later.
Star Destroyer above
Right.
them, and then he just gets away. And then when they were in that asteroid field, what fucking ship was following them that just pulled out behind them? They never explained that.
I like when he glued his helmet back together and
Oh
they
yeah.
had a
For
meeting.
no reason.
For no reason except to be like, hey, fuck you, Ryan Johnson, for trying.
Yeah.
Fuck you for setting up an emotional thing in Star Wars. It's
Putting
done.
it back together.
We're putting it back together. You suck.
But not in again. I can't stress this enough. At the end of the last movie, they were all dead.
Yeah.
All of the resistance fit in one cave.
Yeah.
This was the point of the last movie. So there's no explanation of where the new people came from, what the new plan is, or how they're going to do anything.
Yeah.
Well, they couldn't afford a tent.
Yeah.
Everybody was just outside under a bunch of trees.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
not a building.
They didn't say that. So it's like, why are they going to go look for the Sith stuff if there's no plan? What's going to happen after?
Where do they
Who are
refuel?
the people that we're rooting for?
The cone robot, Dio.
You gotta
the
have Dio.
hero of the new film.
The best person in the movie was Babu Frick.
Oh yeah,
Yeah, the little
The little Mexican guy.
The computer hacker.
Oh yeah, fixing
Yeah.
computers out of my garage guy.
Yeah, that guy who like
Oh,
literally.
you need to format a hard drive? I can help you out.
Yeah, but that guy was speaking Spanish.
Was it? He's speaking
He
actual
said like
Spanish.
two a few times, like, and he just had a thick accent. He was
weird.
like, "Droid is fixed."
Wait, that was English?
Yeah, he says like a few times. He says English stuff,
Yeah, he's
but
like
it's like
doing
with
like
a heavy
Spanglish. He's
Spanish
like,
accent.
God.
They did
Yeah.
kind of pay homage to George Lucas's weird racism because
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
That-
the Space Indians, that was
Yeah.
George Lucas racist thing.
That
whole
festival they went to?
festival.
The fuck was the point of that?
Oh, I thought that was they were supposed to be Burning Man.
Yeah, it was like a
Also-
Burning Man, but then you go and see the traditional dance they're
Just
doing, and like
shitty Coachella.
they're like giving like prayer beads. They're wearing.
Oh,
like,
yeah.
they have like
Yeah.
the color smoke and stuff. It's Indian.
And then the warning,
true.
careful. They have secret agents in these kinds of festivals.
Yeah.
All the time.
Do they?
Wow,
How
really,
many
the-
festivals have you gone to this year?
Really, the American government is watching brown people. Is that what you're saying to
Is that
me?
what we're implying? Interesting.
But again, cannot stress this enough, man, because in that scene is when they meet Lando, and goddamn, is Billy D. Williams having a good time on this movie?
he
He
has
loves it so
He's
much.
so old, and he's having a great time.
he has the same consistency to his face as Papa John with the like the
Oh.
why is there a third like cheekbone thing happening?
yeah. He's definitely had some work done
I don't
Yeah.
understand why people can't just fucking let themselves age.
because they got to be an actor still.
He is an actor.
He hasn't worked since a Colt 45 commercial.
That's true.
The dude hasn't had a job in like 40 years, and he hasn't needed one.
I guess that's just vanity then.
Dude, yeah, it's just straight up vanity.
But that's okay.
Like
What a cool ass guy.
Like, you
Whatever.
Look at
He
Mickey
had a
Rourke,
great
he
time
just
on
dresses
this.
I
like an
liked it.
Olsen twin.
Nobody else seemed like they were
all
having
those people
fun.
look terrible.
Yeah, good for him. He went to that Mexican alien and got like space surgery for his face.
Yeah, from Babu Freak.
He's, 'cause you don't have
Babu Freak was his name.
Babu Freak, yeah.
Babu Freak.
to- Babu Freak.
You know, I wouldn't even.
Bitches.
That movie was so bad, I wouldn't even watch a porn parody of it. That's how fucking bad this movie was.
I stand by my take that I said to Brynn midway through the movie is that I would happily watch any of the prequels over this.
Well, you
this
know
is
what?
the worst movie of the Star Wars franchise by a lot.
I
will never watch this again.
I won't watch the prequels. I will watch
This is the worst
Aquaman,
one?
which somehow feels like one of the prequels to me.
was
The lobster people and
I would
shit.
watch Rogue One again over this, and
Rogue
I
One was
hated
I,
Rogue One.
I didn't hate
You
it.
hate everything though.
I hated Rogue One.
Rogue
so
One
much.
was
much.
good.
I liked Rogue One okay, but I immediately disagreed with you when you said that. But the more I thought about it, like there's so much like liberal hand-wringy smugness in this movie. Like I don't know how to explain it other than like liberal smugness. That feeling when you like read a tweet of someone who thinks they're dunking on a Republican
Yeah.
by saying like Cheeto Man is done. That's what this whole movie feels like. Where they think they're doing a really good job,
Yeah,
but just eating shit in front of you.
sure, but it's not like saying that because it doesn't feel like it had a political.
No. I
perspective.
didn't mean to imply any
No,
political
it's like
stuff.
the
Only
science fiction
aesthetically.
writing version of that.
Yes, exactly.
It's as if they think they're dunking on Cheeto Man, and Cheeto Man in this case is Ryan Johnson.
Yeah.
They think they're dunking on Ryan Johnson in every scene.
Yeah.
And yet here we are saying, like, actually, you look stupid. You look real dumb.
This would be kind of a like if we did it on purpose, kind of a fun experiment where like directors fight each other through like a continuous story.
Yeah.
Like as a TV show, like who can wreck the story enough to where like the next guy can't.
Sign me up. I'm in.
Well, so that's what I was
cool.
saying. I said this to
I can
Alex
wreck
the other day.
anything.
I think that
I know.
the new trilogy
hate
has
you.
played out as if it's a series of diss tracks. Each movie is a diss track of the movie before it.
All right, I like that. Yeah.
And that's what it is. Ryan Johnson did a diss track of everything that was wrong with Force Awakens. That's what that movie was, to be like, you tried too hard to make the movie again. I'm going to make the movie that's like, fuck the movie.
Yeah,
We're doing a different thing. But then that sucked. And so this is him being like, back to him, just like, yeah, you tried to like do something arty. Fuck you. That's not what Star Wars is. Star Wars is retarded.
You guys are movie people. What has J.J. Abrams done that's any good?
Literally fucking nothing. And I hope
Like,
this is the nail in the coffin of
Lost.
his
That was
career.
terrible.
It's bad.
Lost is bad.
This new
he only
Star
did the
Trek franchise was just stupid.
Sucks.
The first
ass.
one is okay.
It was all right, but it's
The
like
second
why
one
everything
sucks
is
dick.
so bright and like
Yeah.
we get it. Kirk fucks.
It looks like shit.
Was George Takei in this movie for a second? Am I crazy?
I didn't see him.
Am I racist?
Yeah.
So J.J. Abrams has never made a good movie.
Well, the only thing I would say even kind of come close to being watchable is Super 8, which no one really cares
I
about.
never saw that.
But it's still basically just E.T. with some annoying lines.
Like he's getting to like M.
yeah,
Night
right.
Shyamalan level of like everything he touches.
Except
sucks.
M. Night Shyamalan made 2 really good movies.
Yeah.
Two?
No, you know what it
Unbreakable
is?
is good.
He's like one of the.
It's not terrible.
Sixth Sense.
Sixth Sense was good.
And that's it.
J.J. Abrams is
Oh,
one of the.
and-
Especially as you watch now and be like, look how fat that guy got.
Dude, but what about The Village?
No, bad.
I saw.
You're doing this on purpose. You're just
Yeah,
trying to piss
yeah.
people off.
He is.
I
Wouldn't
think
that be funny to be like somebody who has like a strong positive opinion of The Village, though?
I met that person.
I watched that movie
the devil.
Split and I almost broke. I downloaded it. I almost threw my laptop out my window. Like
The Village?
No, Split.
No, Split.
Which I kind of liked. It's bad, but I liked it.
Sucked so like.
Yeah, it's bad, but I kind of liked it.
Imagine being an actor and like being proud of your performance, and then you see what you just did and you went, man, fuck.
Oh, I guess I'm kind of bad at acting.
I just feel like it's the same way. Like Nickelback didn't think what they were doing was awful.
Right.
And they wrote all this music from the heart. Like, they had to love it. They created it as a unit. All of them were like, fuck yeah. They went into a studio. They recorded it. They sat in the mix down. They got it mastered. They got excited when it came out.
They
and
had to
then,
have.
like, a year goes by and, like, they're rich and shit, but you're still just Nickelback. You know?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, that has to suck when it realizes, like, fuck, we did a bad thing.
No, here's the thing, though,
Except-
dude. They didn't
But they-
realize that because they actually do have like this crazy fan base that is just on the opposite side of the like cultural
Yeah,
moon
but
as
then
us.
they stopped.
I met one of them. There's this
You
guy.
met one of the guys in Nickelback?
No, I met a fan of Nickelback, like a
No,
real
you-
hardcore fan. There's
in
this,
New York?
No. There's
Oh.
this kid in Oklahoma City.
That makes sense.
This guy Greg Hardens. I know he listens to the show, so shout out Greg. He's a
Hey,
cool
shouts
guy.
to Greg.
You just outed him as a Nickelback fan
No. He is not undercover. He's
Oh, okay.
out and proud. He's a black
Like,
dude.
you just doxed that guy.
I'm just gonna,
That's
I was gonna,
fucked.
just gonna throw this out there because this is a weird detail of it. I think he's a black dude. He lives in Oklahoma, but he's a black dude.
Okay,
who's-
that
You're
doesn't
right to put
track.
that out there. That's very weird.
no, he's into like I did his show and it's hilarious and he's a fucking really charming young kid. But I cannot not make fun of him for it. He loves like butt rock, like Nickelback,
Like 3 Days Grace and
Breaking
shit.
Benjamin.
Limp Bizkit. Eminem, like he talks about Eminem all the time, like
Okay.
shit that was. And
happens
he's
when
like
you live in
half.
Oklahoma?
He's like 20. It doesn't make any sense. It was shit that
It does
I
make
was
sense because that's what he grew up listening to because that's what his parents used to fuck to. That's why. That's like the reason I like yacht rock and 80s so
His
much.
parents
Oh,
fucked
shit, me
It's
too.
the only family memories I've had that were good. Like that kid was probably conceived as stained
That makes sense. I
or
think he just-
Hooba stank.
Yeah.
Imagine
The reason is you.
Dude, I had a dream last night that I was in a Hoobastank cover band. I'm not even kidding you. I had a dream last night that I was forced to play in a
Stuba
Hoobastank
Hank.
cover band.
Stuba Hank.
that's the only thing you can call your Hooba stank
Right.
cover band.
But
My
here's the
brother
thing.
saw them once open for live.
What?
Before their first album came out,
call
he saw them open for live, and he came home and was so stoked on Hoobastank that he said they were the future of rock.
I mean, if you saw anything,
I
at
love
a
my brother,
live
but I will
concert,
never let him live that down.
No, don't.
So, okay, but the difference between Nickelback and J.J. Abrams is J.J. Abrams doesn't give a shit.
He clearly does not.
He doesn't
Yeah.
care if
Here's-
it's good. He knows how to make money.
Here's-
And he
Hack
knows,
Messiah.
like, okay, he's good at, like, making a spreadsheet out of all the toys that they have to make and how much time they have to put each other on screen and then just, like, making that happen and making it, like, kind of be a story.
Here's what I think J.J. Abrams is, right? So, like, the story of the last couple decades is one of nerds slowly, like, taking over everything and deciding that, you know, they had a chip on their shoulder, and then, you know, you didn't get laid when you were young because you were making Facebook and fucking reading comic books or whatever,
Okay.
or doing alt comedy, and then these people spent the last 10 years
Equal things, doing alt comedy and making Facebook.
I don't mean equal like in like you know, fucking effect or whatever. I just mean like all of these dudes have the same thing in common. Here's where I'm going with this. Hot
Nerd shit.
Kumail, okay? Like Hot Kumail is the end of the story of
I was
these
really
people
hoping to avoid talking about that.
being underdogs and all this shit. Now you're like in the movies that your whole identity was based on these things being things that other people didn't like. Well, guess what? Now you made them into the fucking only art that everyone's allowed to consume. You became our fucking overlords, and you, like, you know, went full circle. You're the bully. You're no longer a fucking like you know, like a charming, you know, oh, jocks hate me type of person.
Yeah.
And like J.J. Abrams was kind of one of their gods for a while because he started this. He was one of the, you know,
He's
the originators.
Firefly guy, right? That's his thing.
That's Joss Whedon.
Yeah, that's Joss Whedon. But he's like he's like that type of guy. I mean, he did the first season of Lost, and then it was really exciting. Like, I remember when he got the Star Trek movies, it was supposed to be like. Well, actually, I kind of liked those, but it was also before I was
The
like.
first one's passable. The
The
second
first one is very passable.
Yeah.
I think
after that, it was bad.
especially when looking at it in
And
comparison.
how do
to,
you
like, the
fuck up a
prequels
movie
and
with
stuff.
Benedict Cumberbatch in it?
him?
He is dreamy.
Well, see, that's the thing, right? So also, J.J. Abrams was like a time travel guy. Well, the first one was like a time travel plot. Time travel was like real fun to beat. They beat it to death. Like 3 movies, you know, we kind of all realized, oh, okay. There's nothing you can't do every movie about time travel, right?
But I distrusted J.J. Abrams immediately because as a Star Trek fan, he didn't care. He didn't want to do Star Trek. He wanted to do Star Wars, and so he did like a weird Star Wars movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
but they're
And he was
both
just like,
I don't even know if
bad.
it was that Star Warsy or if it was just like.
But that's what
it
he
was
said.
An action Star Trek is really what it
I
is.
mean,
It's like
he
Yeah.
turned like his.
He said he
his
didn't
Captain
care about
Kirk
Star Trek.
Was Han Solo.
Yeah,
You know what I mean?
Exactly. He
Yeah,
was,
but
It's like
that
Han
shit-
Solo that fucks.
you know what it is? It's like Extreme West Wing. That's
Ooh.
what the Star Trek movie is. The J.J. Abrams Star Trek is Extreme West Wing.
I thought Extreme
because all
West
it
Wing was
is
just
it's
Newsroom.
all just like
Extreme
really
West Wing is-
loud and aggressive walk and talks.
yeah, so annoying.
But in this case, it's running.
and a lot of just
Everyone's
the
constantly
camera's just
sprinting and
constantly
talking.
spiraling around everything.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah,
that
well-
Michael Bay bullshit. Like you can't have a transformer just fight.
I wanted
It's
to-
also got to flip around sideways.
I wanted to mention that the first Star Wars movie that J.J. Abrams directed is at
Go ahead.
one thing I wanted to mention about J.J. Abrams in general is that, like, at least in the 7th movie, The Force Awakens, he made some effort to actually ape the directing style of George
Yes.
Lucas, because it feels in that movie there's a lot of locked off shots, there's a lot of puppetry, there's a lot of wipes. It's like he's doing, everyone hated it at the time, but like that he did exactly the same story, but at least he tried to make it feel like Star Wars.
Yes.
Where in this movie, he completely forgets what movie he's making. The camera does not stop moving. It's handheld. It's Dutch angles.
Yeah.
It's like rolling on the floor on a dolly, and it's like
these
what?
big like helicopter shots around somebody.
Like it's doing like Matrix bullet time half the time. It's
Yeah.
so
Yeah.
fucking annoying.
There's not a single fun wipe in the whole movie.
Yeah.
There's never like a.
It's like there sometimes.
No
I think there's
wampa.
like 1 or 2 like wipes, but they're like they try to hide them.
It's just it's the heavy cutting is what's insane about it. Is
Yeah.
like how quickly it moves from thing to thing to thing. Because I kept thinking about how like the whole thing that makes Star Wars look like Star Wars isn't, you know, puppets. It's not practical effects. Like those things are important
Right.
to it. But fundamentally, what makes Star Wars what it is slow, long shots of something. Like
Yeah.
we never see somebody land a ship and then see them walking away from it. That's a
Yeah.
fucking Star Wars thing. Is somebody walking away from a ship.
And there's-
That's a Star Wars
And
shot.
there's stuff in this movie that is done more carefully in the earlier trilogy.
Yeah.
And even in the earlier movie in Force Awakens, where like they like get land on the Death Star or the Star Destroyer and then just start shooting people. It's like that happens in the first movie, but they like carefully take the stormtroopers' clothes and like convince people.
Yes.
But like when the Emperor opened up the big thing and he was like, "Look at your friends, they're dying." It's
Yeah,
like
yeah.
exactly from Return of the Jedi.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
it's ridiculous looking and it's
Yeah.
moving super fast.
And it's a giant skylight that he has in the
Yeah,
place. But,
and
like,
also now he has lightning powers that
that can go up into the sky and
destroy
take down
literally
ships.
everything.
Yeah.
But
I do like that he had a bunch of just bottles of purple fluid piped into his veins.
that was cool. I like
what
I
was
like
that
him.
weird,
Why did it
His
look like
death
Portal?
was cool too.
It looked like he
Yeah,
was
it's like
Gladys.
the portal thing. Yeah, he's
Yeah,
Gladys.
yeah,
It's like I thought the whole cape was gonna fall off, and it was just her little eye. Like, oh,
Why does he have
hello.
like a little stadium of people just watch him on that little
watching
coat
him
rack
doing
thing?
shit. Yeah.
None of it?
Like what?
But, dude,
where
that's
did
the
it
thing, though,
come
is, like,
from? Why
it's-
is that world in lightning all the
It's
time?
like little things like that though, where like Poe's girlfriend gives him the little medallion that's like this is like a general's fucking badge, and this means that you can get into any ship. And then they're like, okay, we'll get into the ship. And there's never a point where you
Yeah,
see
the-
somebody
no
in the ship be
subterfuge
like,
at all.
must be a general.
Yeah.
You just need little things like that to make it feel like Star
There's just
Wars.
tons of stuff that
It's
isn't
so easy to do.
And that
paid
little,
off.
With the medallion that I don't even remember who gave it to who. Like somebody gave Chewbacca
Somebody gave
a
Chewbacca.
medallion,
A medal at the end,
like
yeah,
just like a
from
belt
A New
buckle
Hope.
or
It's the thing
something.
he didn't
That's
get.
like that is a fucking like nerd in joke. That
Yeah.
in the very first movie they all get awards from the rebellion for blowing up the Death Star, except Chewbacca doesn't get one.
Yeah.
So
because he's an animal, and you don't give it to animals.
so fucking 6 movies later, something that
Is
no
it
one
only
ca-
6? It feels like 40.
Well, I mean, story wise, right? So the first one is 4, and this is 9.
Oh,
So 6 movies later, you have someone who's why is the fuck is Lupita Nyong'o in the movie?
Who?
The little orange girl with the weird eyes, that's
No
Lupita
point.
Nyong'o, and she has nothing to do.
Oh, yeah,
She's
the-
There
shown-
are an endless amount of characters that have no reason to be
yeah,
in this.
and she
That's
just
the last movie.
she has
She
a
just-
medal
you-
for some reason from episode 4 that she gives to Chewbacca. Like, why?
No
She-
explanation.
okay, and she's the person that just watched Leia like just evaporate.
Yeah.
And then she just smiled like a weird creep, like, fuck yeah, she's finally gone.
Yeah, she has no reaction really. She's just like,
And she's what her character is like she's a bartender that's 1,000 years old or something.
yeah.
Yeah, something like that.
Did Leia finally die in this one?
Yeah,
No,
she dies
they're gonna
by-
bring her back for the next one.
No, she dies when she like
Isn't it
stops
kinda-
Ben from or Kylo Ren from
Yeah.
killing.
Yeah, now
She
he's
like went to
dead.
lay down, and then R2D2 was like just being like a hospital air pump thing. Like,
And he goes, beep.
yeah,
And all, but now she's a ghost. She's dead in real life, playing a dead.
Yeah.
She was playing a ghost. I thought that was kind of meta. It's like, oh, she's actually a dead person playing a ghost. That's let her go.
Yeah.
just
Let her
mirrors
go.
reflecting
Stop
mirrors.
doing this shit.
Let
this is
it
psychotic.
fucking go.
This is like this movie. Just seeing her
Like,
role
what if
in this
they ha-
movie was the most like disgusting display of Hollywood garbage I've ever seen. Like
So
I'm
upsetting.
They
so
should have made
upset
her
about
and
that.
Luke kiss.
more than
They're
anything
just
else.
dead brother and sister, and they
Should've
start
made-
making out. Like, what is
Should've made,
happening?
like, a
This movie
full-on
rules.
sex scene.
Yeah, just
Just, like, if
just
you're
go
gonna do
straight
it,
Pornhub,
if you're gonna
like,
fucking
their
desecrate
stepdad's out of
corpses
town.
Like this. You're gonna dig up the fucking dead. make
we
them
own
dance
your
for you.
fucking identity.
They kind of killed her in the last one too, right?
They could have.
But she like fucking got blasted out into space and then
Yeah.
Oh
brought
yeah,
back in.
and then she just like space floated.
Dude,
Yeah.
Carrie
forgot
Fisher's
about-
family is watching these
I
movies.
forgot
and just killing her over and over and over again.
They brought Han Solo back. I just remembered that
I
he was
can't
in the movie.
Yeah, he
believe
was
that
there,
Harrison
yeah.
Ford is in the movie.
Yeah, he was
they
a
must have paid him $1 billion.
Yeah.
He didn't want to come back for even the first one they
He didn't
redid.
want to be in The Empire Strikes Back.
Could they not get a better
He
hair
asked
and
them
makeup
to kill
person?
him in Return of the Jedi. His role in Return of the Jedi was supposed to be that they try to unfreeze him, but he's dead in there. That was what he asked to do. That's how little this guy wants to be involved in this fucking bullshit franchise.
He's already so rich. How much money could they possibly pay him?
Dude, that's an interesting
Yeah,
point
but
about
he
Star
also
Wars in
agreed.
general is like most of the original actors, like a lot of them hated the thing either like the guy who played Obi-Wan Kenobi like was just like,
Alec
this is-
Alec Guinness
fucking
hated
so
Star Wars
mad.
so much.
Luke, fucking Mark Hamill hated the movie and then had a weird come to Jesus moment, or he ran out of money or something. He used to like,
Yeah, he got in a motorcycle accident.
is that what happened?
Yeah, before Return of the Jedi.
Oh no! I mean, like post the original trilogy and shit. The reason he was so into playing the Joker on the Batman the Animated Series is because
Yeah.
like it didn't just fucking have to have his face on it and shit. Because like I knew somebody who I can't remember if I've told this in the fucking thing before, but I knew somebody who worked in a building with him, like where he did voiceover work, and they said like, if Star Wars nerds would come to the buildings, they'd find out where he worked, and
Jesus.
he would,
Ew.
you know, fucking like be like, don't let them in here. And if they got in, they would find him like out on the ledge outside of his like window, of like just like fucking, I'm not here, because he hated the whole Star Wars thing.
Yeah.
And then suddenly something switched when all this fucking new shit happened, right? And like, I don't know, man. I mean, he seems like kind of a sweet guy on Twitter. Like, it's maybe just he just came to terms with it, but like maybe it's a fucking money or whatever.
It has to be millions of dollars.
It's gotta be. But he also hated the fucking Last Jedi, and then they were just
Yeah,
like,
they turned
shut
him
the
into
fuck
a
up.
space hobo.
But he hated it, and then they like hushed him up with money or something, and he like had to come around and say Ryan Johnson's actually great.
I bet they caught him fucking Haley Joel Osment.
I heard.
They got something on Mark Hamill, and now they're like, "You're ours now, bitch."
He's on
Jeffrey
the flight
Epstein's
logs.
plane, yeah.
He,
The
he's
flight logs in this case are like
Haley
a
Joel
Disney
Osment's known for doing the honeypot.
The flight logs are what's in R2D2, and that's the beginning of Star
Yeah.
Wars.
They found
Pull
out
the little thing off. Of it.
R2 knows where Luke Skywalker has been.
It's Leia just like
Wait, I
Bill
meant Joseph
Clinton.
Gordon-Levitt. God
Oh,
damn it!
no.
I ruined my own
Kevin
callback.
Spacey.
I was wondering what the fuck you were talking about.
Kevin
It was
Spacey
Joseph
plays
Gordon-Levitt.
the fucking
They both have
Mr.
three
Pap-
names, but yeah, no, Haley Joel Osment's the one that got real fat, right? He was in Sixth Sense.
Well, he
Yeah,
was.
he's an adult now.
He was in Star Wars.
The thing, no,
He's
you're
an
thinking
adult?
Jake Lloyd.
Huh?
Jake Lloyd. They look very similar.
Jake Lloyd is
Different
Anakin.
kids. Jake Lloyd quit acting. After
Wait,
Star
Haley
Wars
Joel
'cause everyone
Osment
was so mean
wasn't
to him.
the
No, he
Anakin
was the kid from
No.
Sixth Sense, and he was also in The Boys.
Yeah.
He played like the Mesmer.
The Boys?
You've never
Jake
seen The
Lloyd
Boys?
was
Oh,
Anakin
the
Skywalker
comic
and he
book
quit.
show.
Yeah.
Who have I been jacking
you-
off to all this time?
I thought you were thinking about that. I thought you were talking about the Bruce Willis movie that he's in, where he plays him as an adult or as a little girl, little kid.
I'm sorry. What? Are you talking?
Jake Lloyd quit acting and moved to Australia because he couldn't stand Star Wars.
That's what I'm saying. It like
Who's
ruined
Jake?
all these people's
But this
lives.
is,
Oh, Jake Lloyd was Anakin Skywalker, the little kid.
the little baby Anakin, yeah. But before we move on from that, just for people at home, very funny thing to look out for in A New Hope. It's a movie I've seen 1.5 million times. I know it like the back of my hand. But there is
Why?
a moment, the first time that Obi-Wan Kenobi meets like Han and Chewie and everybody, there's a moment where you hear Chewie go like, "Arr!" It makes this like Chewie noise, and you could see Alec Guinness just go like, ugh. Like you can see his face just go like, this is what we're doing.
Apparently, John Boyega has been sort of making those kind of remarks. 'Cause he's just like in this train wreck of a film franchise.
Yeah,
and,
he knows it's bad. He's
go-
the only
Everybody
real-
has to. Nobody in that movie liked it.
he got in trouble on Twitter the other day because someone tweeted some shit at him about like, oh, I thought you and Ray were gonna get together, and he like deleted, but he tweeted back.
It was on Instagram.
Was it on Instagram?
Yeah.
You know, what did he say?
He
Something about-
said it's not about who gets to kiss her; it's about who lays the pipe.
Yeah.
You're a genius.
Wow.
And everyone's like, you're a misogynist for saying pipe.
But the best part about
For
John
talking like a
Boyega was
13-year-old.
when they were like, "Do you think that you'll return to the Star Wars franchise?" He's like, "You're not gonna Disney Plus me, mate." Fuck
Good
you.
for him.
He's like, "No."
Yeah, good for him and good for everybody involved in this to just like get the fuck out. Just be
I mean,
done. I
Yeah.
hope Adam Driver never does another one of these again. He's way too good of an actor to be involved in this fucking garbage.
I don't like.
I just
him.
found him completely unbelievable in the role. Like
Yeah.
he's got a cool, deep voice, but like you're the child of Han Solo and.
Listen, I'm just
Princess-
happy to see a chosen Jedi. all right?
I'm just saying, like those are very attractive people, and Adam Driver is kind of ugly.
He's ugly hot,
He's a
dude.
weird-
Yeah, he's ugly hot.
Again, he's a hot Jew.
It's really
I get it,
hard
but like
to
he
imagine.
doesn't look fucking anything like Han Solo or
No,
Princess Leia. Like,
or Carrie Fisher.
just
yeah,
like
not
wait,
at all.
But I feel like I have friends who are hotter than him. Like he's like
That's why he's
He-
like
if he was
interesting,
charming, yeah.
accessible. Like, oh, you feel kind of comfortable around him because he looks like he shouldn't be in a movie.
He looks like you.
I know, dude. I've had a lot of weird like exes. You know, you look kind of like the.
Oh my god.
It's fucking weird. That's why I don't like watching him because I'm like,
He's
is
got
that
that big
me?
half
Like,
sandwich
That's like
nose.
what you see him and you're like, what if I would have made it?
Fuck.
yeah, it projects me
What
too
if
much
I was
into the
incredible
movie.
at acting?
And then everybody said the Star Wars character you look like is that weird like guy in the bowling jacket that's like an ox or something.
Dude, my guy was in the
yeah,
fucking
you were
movie.
in it again, and you got no royalties.
There's an alien named Vober Dan who they introduce in The Force Awakens, and in that the year way back in the past when we were all young and innocent when that movie came out, like 12 people texted me the night that came out because it was a big deal when Force Awakens
Yeah.
came out.
It's just
Star
an
Wars
ugly
movie.
Everyone
alien
was
with bad
excited.
posture.
Like 12 people texted me. They were like, "You're in the fucking movie," and they were all referring to this alien who wears a green jacket and he fucking hunches over and he just like, "Hey, well, the X-wing's fixed." He talks like that, and like it rules.
And he's like an ox.
God,
yeah?
what
He's
if
like a
that
little-
character started a
Somewhere.
leftist podcast?
Dude,
just
he-
took everything you've ever had.
Get his own Vober Dan, his own show, man. I don't care. He can have it. I just want to be part of it. I just want to be.
Voger damn America.
That's the name of the episode, baby. Pod Dan.
All right. Well, this
No,
movie
the name of the episode
blows.
is Emergency Iran episode.
Oh yeah. By the way, a war is starting. Anyways, this is how you found out.
I hope this isn't the last thing all of us do.
Yeah.
I hope it
same.
is. I hope I die in the morning.
No,
hope so.
Jeremy.
I don't want to die in Bushwick.
I don't want to
hope-
die.
People get blown up halfway into this podcast, like listening to
I mean,
it.
somebody probably already has.
Oh man, fuck. Let's just fucking stop.
All right. Sorry that this movie is terrible. I hope that Star Wars dies in your dreams.
Yeah, I hope J.J. Abrams dies in real life.
I hope J.J. Abrams like masturbates into his own mouth while crying.
Listen to me.
Fucking fucking short bus.
Wow, that was good.
If Star Wars
I hope he
people,
makes some dumbass video thing that his boyfriend has to watch and be like, "So this is like the art that you were gonna die on."
Yeah.
Jake, I just want to personally thank you for inviting me to that movie. I had a wonderful time.
$15.
You're never going to see that.
I wasn't gonna ask for it.
No, I'll give it to you.
I'm not. I want double. No.
Yeah, we all didn't like it. That's what you should take away.
Yeah,
from
I
I'm
might
not
go see it
recommending
again.
this. I hope nobody watches it.
I want to make all.
I kind of just want to go yell at it without Jake.
I want to make. All,
Just
Just go back and be like, you know what?
Just
I'm gonna
sit
give this
next to
movie
people and be
everything.
like, you know what happens to Baba Freak? He dies.
Kylo Ren, huh?
I know, just lie.
all right. Well, who has plugs?
Hey, check out Ballin' Out Super. It's my podcast with Alex Patak from this very show on normal episodes. And also check out my other podcast. It's
And
called
Jamie.
Generation Loss, which I do with Brynn Nnieboer.
That's true.
And we watch movies and videos and things. And,
Anything that's fit to watch,
yeah.
we watch and we talk about it.
But you know us from 2 episodes ago of this very podcast.
Yeah, also that.
Dude, fucking when that final battle when Rey was fighting Emperor Palpatine, she was holding off the Force lightning with her
X-Block.
fucking
Yeah.
her lightsaber.
Oh, the X-Block,
Yeah,
yeah.
X-Block.
And yeah, it wasn't going well enough, so she summoned another fucking lightsaber, did an X-Block.
Yeah.
And that's how she defeated
Dude, also worth
lightning
noting,
weapons.
She watched
opening
Surviving
scene of the
Earth
movie when they do the crawl and then they're in space and then they're like, just kidding, we know that we just have to open it this way, but actually we're on a planet.
Yeah.
And it's Kylo Ren doing a genocide. What you may not have noticed is that he was killing them with his lightsaber, right? But then he uses the side of the lightsaber, which you didn't think about, edged weapon.
Edged weapon.
Yeah.
They can
Is an
be
edged
anywhere.
weapon.
You're here looking at the big part and you're like, that's the edge. No, it's all edges.
I was.
This is the next fucking movie. Should be how surviving lightsabers, like a stormtrooper's video.
Yeah,
And there's one
surviving light
stormtrooper-
weapons.
Surviving plasma weapon.
And he's like, one of them's fucking crying, and he's like, "I'll fucking kill you! You come in here with your goddamn green lightsaber."
You thought this was a lipstick. It's
That
actually a
one
lightsaber.
artifact that was going to take him to that planet was just in a tree stump guarded by 10 dudes that he just went down, killed real quick, and like, oh, here's that thing I needed.
Yeah.
Not even in a building. There was
Yeah.
no security code, no lock, not a briefcase. Just
That was an easy one. He
just
picked the easy
in a
one.
thing on the ground.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm Brynn Nnieboer. I do a show called BP Lettuce. You can follow us at BP Police. And other people are on that show, 3 other people. I also do a show with Jeremy called Generation Loss, which he just plugged. I also have a band called
Hey,
Stay
plug it
Inside, which you should.
again.
I did.
What's your band called?
Stay Inside. You can follow us at Stay Inside BK on Twitter. And we're actually better on Instagram. I don't tweet from that account.
Cool. You got anything to plug, man?
Oh, hey, I'm Blake Midgette. I live to bother Jake.
And that's all.
And I sing in a band that sometimes plays shows called Page 99. And then I make a bunch of music on my own that isn't ready to release yet, and I don't even have a name.
Ooh,
So
that's exciting.
yeah, it's pretty good.
That's great.
I have shit that none of you will ever hear.
Yeah, prove it.
Did I hear that you work on like synthesizers and shit?
I do. I also
Do
do
you really?
that.
You guys should talk because he fucking made a bunch of crazy synth music for
Oh,
our
neat.
last episode.
Well, we will after we end this podcast.
Yeah, can we get off the air?
Let's get the fuck out of here. I want to.
Oh, what's my day rate on this anyway?
Yeah.
Go to hell.
How much are we
$15, bitch. I mean, you give me $15. Fuck, I'm down $30.
Damn,
no.
looking forward to my $15.
We're going to war.
Bye.